meaning of life, in my perspective, can be summed up with the shirt I'm wearing, minus the skulls. What it is my dream. My meaning of life is dream. When you're a little kid, you have an imagination to dream big things, kind of like the dragon. You know, it's a mythical creature, but you still think of that giant creature in the sky. And my meaning is to kind of keep those dreams alive. If you're a little kid and you keep building blocks to build a giant 80-story robot, keep that dream alive, and to try to become an engineer or try to build that 80 robot to come. Don't just kill that dream. So many people try to say you can't do it or you don't, but that's the meaning, is that you got to keep pushing forward, try to say you want to do it and get past the obstacles. Many people have done the extreme just to do their dream. Like Chris McAllister, he said he was going to go into the Alaskan wild, and he went to the Alaskan wild with barely anything. You know, some people, like with the lecture we had with technology, where some people created this amazing technology like bionic arms, bionic legs. It's amazing things that you would never think possible. It wasn't for somebody with a dream that I'm not going to be put down by this. The other part of my shirt is a tiger and the yin and yang symbol, which is Chinese. And the tiger represents reality. It mixes that, yeah, you probably, if you're going to decide I'm going to build an 8-foot robot, you got to probably realize, hey, I'm not probably going to be able to build an 80-foot robot. But that's where the kind of yin and yang symbol comes from. Basically, it means it's center of balance between what I can do, what I can't do, and so as you notice, there's kind of two little white dots making kind of unbalanced, and that kind of makes it balanced, but that means that there's room for going beyond what there is now, what there isn't. And so, yeah. And the other one, this symbol here, it means hope. It means hope for the future, hope that you can do everything. You know, and that I can also relate to family migration, stuff like that. Like they dream to come to America, they dream to have a better life than us, a better life than they have now, or to meet their family, or to meet their goal. And that is my meaning of life.
What is the meaning of life? You can sum it up in 3 steps. The first step is finding yourself, finding your identity. You can do that by knowing your culture, race, ethnic background, by the clothes you wear, and by the music you listen to. For example, in Two Spirits, we learned that the Navajo tribe believed in 4 gender identities instead of 2. This allowed their members to switch gender identities, or switch gender roles, and allowed them to have different gender identities. I think this is good, because if we have a more diverse culture, then we can have more innovations. Step 2, discovering what you love to do. Whether it's bungee jumping, skydiving, or just sitting down and reading a book, find something that you love and don't let anyone critique you for it. Personally, I found eating the heads of gummy bears, singing badly in the shower, and just discovering new music is what makes me happy and generally makes me a less stressful person. If you want to be like Chris McCandless and venture into the wild, I don't recommend it because it's highly dangerous, but if that's what you love to do, who says me for you to just go for it. Finally, step 3, find people. The world is full of them, so you'll eventually run into someone. Whether it's a romantic relationship, a friend, or even a family member, find people that care about you and you care about them. Don't have to meet a lot of people, because generally speaking, if you look for more friends won't look back for you. And you don't have to like everyone you meet, because they probably won't like you that much either. You can look for friends through Facebook. Just be careful, because not on everything on the internet is truth. And also, there are plenty of people out there that use the information you put on the internet just to harm you. Thank In conclusion, the meaning of life is as simple as 3 steps. You might not find the meaning of life in that exact order, or even find any friends, family, or yourself just yet. But enjoy the adventure, because the meaning of life is a wild ride.
Okay. What is the meaning of life? There are 3 things when I think about the meaning of life that come to mind. The first one is to learn and to explore. It is our job as people and as a humankind to explore and to learn new things about this world so that we can share what we know and pass it on to other people. The second thing is to keep faith in history progressing. Sorry, I'm laughing. As being a religious person, it is our job to share what we believe and to keep and to share our history so that people will know what has happened in the past, so that people can be informed about where we live and where we come from and the culture that we share. And my third thing is to live life to the fullest. As a human, I want to live my life to the fullest and live life with no regrets. I want to be able to say that when I'm older, to say that when I'm older, I want to be able to say that I did or did not regret anything that I did in life. And I want to leave you with this quote: "Yesterday's history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift, that is why it is called present." And that is from Kung Fu Panda. This is my visual effect because when I get older, I want to become a NFL sports broadcaster, and I want to be able to go with that job and be happy and not say, shoot, I wish I would have done something else. I want to fulfill what I want to do. Yeah, and we're done.
Okay. Life. For some of us who have forgotten, fairy tales remind us that a dream is a wish your heart makes. When you are older, many people will tell you to live your life to its fullest and do whatever makes you happy, even if that means dying for what makes you happy. A movie called Two Spirits reminds us that one person can find happiness, but he's still going to die for it. Even with all the hate in this world, that you can still find hope. This is a picture that I had found that reminds me that even when on like a rainy day and like you feel like there's no like sense of comfort around you, that a little ray of sunshine can bring you a rainbow. So that's what that represents. And as you grow older, you will find times when you want to pull out and away from this place we call home. But even with all of the stress that this world brings us, you need to find your own escape and find happiness within that escape. You also have parents to look for this guidance. This is the little brother of my boyfriend, and he's 2 years old, and he always asks that question, why? Why do I have to wear my floaties, Mom? Because you're going to drown. So it's very simple in this image. And his parents are there to guide him for like safety and to just help steer him in the right direction in that sense. And typically people have 2 parents, so each set of parents has their own set of parents. And so from that background, like you're getting multiple perspectives on how to like live your life or how to learn from right from wrong. And most people retreat back to their families for comfort when the world seems to be crashing down harshly. Scott Miller's lecture reminds us that some people accept the society's roles put into place, but others choose different lifestyles. However, there are some people that you may come to find are very unhappy with their lives because they are living for someone else's dream. Don't live your life to find out you were dead inside the whole time. You only live once. However, living through your computer is not living at all. I know Facebook and cell phones are all the rage right now, and you can have fun and like send picture images in like a split second, but you're going to lose touch with personal interactions. Some of your best conversations will actually take place in person, face to face, with another person actually there with you. And our technology is meant to help us and not replace us. You ultimately make that choice in your own daily lifestyle, though. Like, I'm not going to influence you on to doing this or that, because it is your life, and I want you to live your life the way you want to live it. So I want you to take this moment to ease your mind and close your eyes. I'm going to say these words, and I want you to think about them. Close your eyes. Fancy, fairy tale, fear, hope, crying, smiles, morals, jealousy, screaming, soldiers, riots, outcast, help, chokehold, escape, legacy. Did you hear it? that sound. It's silent. It's there waiting for you to explore it. That is all.
Okay. When I hear somebody say life is hard, I stop and ask myself, compared to what? For the greater part of forever, the world has always had something to live up to. That's why it's hard to find just one meaning to life. However, I believe that if you make yourself happy before anything else, then you have found the meaning of life. As discussed in a lecture with John Solons, we are becoming technology. Is technology what makes us happy these days? Has technology become the meaning of life? No. Happiness can't be achieved by sitting in front of a computer or talking on a cell phone. Technology such as prosthetic limbs can help enhance our lives. If you get a new arm or leg, the new arm or leg will not make you happy, but it's what you do with the new arm or leg that will make you happy. If we let technology trick us into being happy, we will never become truly successful. When you find truth in your greatest passions, that is what will help you find the meaning of life. One must go out and find who they are meant to be. Chris McCandless is a perfect example of how happiness can be found in doing what you want. Chris left his family, friends, and modern life to be set free in the wild because he was not content. Even though in the end he paid the ultimate price, I would argue that Chris died happy because he was free to do as he pleased. Therefore, he found the meaning of life. Aristotle once said, "Happiness is the meaning and purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence." Aristotle was a smart man. If you're doing something that isn't making you happy, stop and think, what can you do to make you happy? Chris McCandless was born into a well-off family, so he never really had to work for much. But when immigrants come to America, they start with basically nothing. They have to work for every ounce of happiness and life they want here. And in the beginning, even though they aren't happy, they have to keep pushing through to make happiness for future generations to come. It's easiest to be happy when you're comfortable with your surroundings. When I used to play volleyball, being on the court and bonding with my team is what made me feel comfortable. Being involved with communities that share common interests with you is the first step to finding happiness. My visual aid is a picture of a sun because sun usually represents happiness. The sun represents all the positive aspects in life. The spiral in the middle can represent all the turns that life takes, but in the end, it all turns out all right. If you strive to be brighter than the sun, you can always be happy. If the key to life is happiness, then happiness simply just is. It can't be forced onto a person. One must be willing to go out and find who they want to be. Why waste time dwelling on the past when it can't be changed? Instead, live in the moment and do what makes you happy because you want to. But in reality, no one will ever know the true meaning to life because each person has his or her own different morals, views, and experiences in life. Thank you.
Okay. There is something in each and every one of us that desires the unknown. Life is a repeating cycle of fascination and ambition. The lust to know or what our future entitles is great, but the fear of receiving the wrong answer puts humans in the redundant rhythm of going through the motions. Pinpointing the true and ultimate meaning of life is a fusion of many different beliefs. Some ideas will sound contrary, and some will sound as if they're in tranquility with each other. As a biology novice, it's difficult not to be cynical and immediately state that the meaning of life is evolution. This theory was branded into my young, impressionable brain and formed into a habitual thought process. Evolution is the easiest answer with the least amount of emotion. It feels like the appropriate choice because I'm not involved in any aspect from any angle. It is also the laziest answer to offer because this belief requires me to do only one thing, exist. How effortless would it be to say my life revolves around the one condition every human claims to strive against, pure, ordinary, and detached life. Evolution provides an escape from critical thinking because everyone else has already taken the liberty of proving its existence for me. As a scientist, I want to believe my life is important if I'm mutating, changing, and adapting to something to prolong the survival of the human race. As a scientist, the meaning of life is to create organisms so complex, so perfect and imperfect, but to continue on such a linear path it confuses me. Evolution causes me to doubt my existence is important, and I question if that's all I really believe in. I question why we evolved and to what goal is evolution reaching out towards. When no one offered an answer, I turned to study something people do have answers for. It began with my desire to understand the parties involved, Mother Nature and God. If I must side with one, I would have to know my opponent's view. I consider myself an agnostic atheist, but I respect how only religion can answer my questions of evolution. Through theology, I realize my meaning of life is to be righteous. However, the fork in the road is my creation and mine alone. I reside in the middle ground of not declaring a religion but acting as a religious person. I don't want to devote myself to God. I want to devote myself to being honorable. This is a difficult path to pursue because it is permanently condemned. This meaning of life might be to live for something of these values, something ridiculous and absurd.
There's so many meanings of life out there. Can we even be certain that there is a meaning of life? I only have this proof. A photo I took once when I was backpacking. When I was walking through the woods, I saw the sun shining through the trees. There was only dead trees around, but somehow there was still life being shown for everything around me. So I can only offer this as a meaning of life: to explore, expand, and understand. We have to expand or explore, to travel the world and find what's out there for us to learn. We have to expand both our minds, our hearts, and our souls. We learned this from Scott Miller in his nature lecture about how he saw nature and walked through it and found deeper meaning in everything he saw, from the ripples of the water or even just hiking and being alone by himself. We have to understand the world around us, the people, and ourselves, most importantly. We learn to know our families, our friends, and what's important to them and what their meaning of life is. From Leader, we learned about our families and where everything comes from and how it can contribute to our lives. We also learned from Critical Thinking how important it is to have everything come into our lives and understand it that way, and explore our minds that way and expand them. As we move through life, we have to learn to have the ability to have roots and wings while still moving forward. This means being deep to our families while still having wings to be able to take flight and go through everything and find our dreams. But still we want to move forward and see what the world has to teach us. And that's why I picked this photo, because it just shows the meaning of life to me.
Okay, what is the meaning of life? Sorry. What is the meaning of life? Is there really one specific meaning? For me, it's about helping others, putting a smile on someone's face, or just going out and helping those less fortunate. For other people, it might be seeing a monkey, or to spend time with their family. But as you can see, everyone's meaning of life varies, and that's why we're all different. In Scott Miller's lecture on institutional identity, he stated that everyone belongs to a category, whether you're a sister, a brother, a mom, a wife, or a husband. You belong to a category. Just like us, we're all students. Taking a look at this picture, we're all connected in some way, shape, or form. We're the world, so we're connected. Whether it's by plants, animals, insects, somewhere deep down inside, one of us could be a cockroach. The world is composed of so many things, and either way, we're connected. And they're all very different. Machines. We're connected with machines through Facebook, internet, machines, technology. They revolve our world. They connect our world and they make it go around. It's where we keep track of what we're going to do next. Our cell phones even remind us to say happy birthday to your grandma. Despite the fact that John P. Sullivan's lecture on technology linking directly to our way of life, we still play a large role in making the most of it while we can. Like Chris McCandless did in Into the Wild, he gave himself a chance to really allow Mother Earth to show him what she's all about. Whether that means risking our lives in the process, in the end, living your life to the fullest is what really matters most. In Elaine Leader's lecture yesterday, she said that Michael Jackson's song "We Are the World" connects us all, and as the world, we're all connected. And that's the end.
All right. So the meaning of life. So I want to start off by saying like everybody else has their own like personal like meaning of life, and they develop it through like experiences, people they meet, like places they go, like different lifestyles. And once one has has depicted their own meaning of life, they live by it. And one's meaning of life can change throughout life's course as they meet different people, travel the world, and experience new things. Personally, my meaning of life is to live life, experience new things, explore your passions, and be happy. And to understand that, I'll break it down. To live life, I mean to go through life's course, understand that you're not always going to be happy, that there's going to be ups and downs, and life's a roller coaster ride, and that you have to embrace happiness and like learn from your mistakes. To experience new things, I mean to try as many things as possible, because if you don't try it, then you don't know if you like it or not. And if you try it and you don't like it, then you could say you don't like it and you don't have to try it again, you know. But if you do like it, it's something it's more beneficial to you. To explore your passions kind of relates to trying new things, because when you try new things, you find your passions. And if you find, if not one, many passions, it will make your life more happy and enjoyable. Finally, to be happy means to understand that life throws you curveballs, and you need to focus on the positives in life instead of the negatives in any situation. Like, for example, if you get in a fight with your friend, you have to understand that at the end of the day, you guys are going to make up and become closer and stronger. And just look at the positives in that way. Throughout life, from being born to dying, your meaning of life may change. When you're born, your meaning of life is to like eat, sleep, and poo. When you're in elementary school, your meaning of life is to like bring your bag lunch, do silent reading, and like go to recess. And like as life goes on, like your meaning of life changes, and that's what I want to kind of like give to you guys. That's kind of what I want to put in your mind, like give a little like seed to grow, because as life goes on, like you're gonna have a different meaning of life, and you're never gonna have like the same mindset. So yeah. Oh yeah, wait, sorry. Oh, this is my picture. Yeah, sorry it's not as good as a lot of you guys', but it's like a picture of like all my passions, and like there's the cross, like friendship, triangle, shoes, music, basketball. Like these are just like like things that I'm passionate about that I've experienced.
Okay, the meaning of life. No one has one straight answer. That's why it's like the greatest question of all time, I guess. It's analyzed so much that no one really has one straight answer. So there's many variations. That's why no one can really be fully answered. And then over the broad scheme of things, I think that meaning of life is to do the things that you enjoy. It's all about the path to finding yourself. Just like in John Sullivan's lecture, technology is becoming more and more ingrained into our life, making people more dependent on technology rather than their will and strength to survive. Because technology isn't all about life. For me, it's just like going back to the basics of like what you find naturally, like the natural surviving stage, I guess. In contrast, Into the Wild changed my perspective on the world and how treasures in life are not weight in gold or material things. but is with connecting to the world that we live on and with the ones who are close to us. Personally, the meaning of life is to be happy and satisfied with yourself, to be with ones you love and to be loved, respect yourself and others and their views and morals for their own life, stand up for what you believe in, to accomplish all the things you want to do in your lifetime, do what is worthwhile, with no regrets at the end, and most of all, to feel fulfilled and satisfied with life when it all comes down to it. And my visual is like, I find like the meaning of life is to be like, find peace with yourself. And I just think that the picture is really peaceful. And yeah, that's it.
This is our decision to live fast and die young. We've got the vision, now let's have some fun. Yeah, it's overwhelming, but what else can we do? Get jobs in offices and wake up for the morning commute. These are lyrics from perhaps a familiar song called Time to Pretend by MGMT. These specific lyrics describe how our generation kind of, well, not all of us, but a good portion, goes about life kind of going with it and not really living for anything. And if you don't live for anything, you'll die for nothing. So what is the meaning of it all? What is the meaning of life? Well, of course, there's a number of various answers depending on an individual. For instance, maybe Michael Clayton's purpose in life was to be the working class hero and save those around him as well as himself. Or, as described in John Solon's lecture, maybe there's individuals out there whose purpose in life is to better society through technology. Or Isoke, maybe her purpose in life was to help others through finding self-empowerment. I believe that life can only have meaning if it was created for a purpose. Being a Christian, my purpose is to follow God and maintain a relationship with Him. This doesn't result in the endless pursuit of happiness. Instead, on a day-to-day basis, I feel that that greater sense of fulfillment and joy. This is my art installment, and it's an example of how God, represented by the cross, is put before all the other things in life, represented by the glitter chaos. So, yeah.
So in case you didn't notice, this is a picture of a guy talking to God. He says, "Hey God, what's the meaning of life?" And God goes, "I don't know, the computers are down." I think that's kind of funny. I mean, it's kind of cheesy, but it's funny because it's kind of like a summation of how we live today. How, like, even, can you imagine, like, God's up there using a computer right now? I don't know if anyone's ever seen Bruce Almighty when he's trying to answer all the prayers by email. But I feel like that's a good representation of how we might live today, and I feel like that says a lot about what many people consider to be the meaning of their lives. Now, some people obviously spend like 24/7 on Facebook, that type of stuff. I personally can't bear to be on it that often, and I didn't actually own a smartphone until about a month ago. Before that, it was old flip phones from yard sales. But anyways, John Solons, he brought up a good point when he was talking about how technology has become an extension of us and how we can rely so much on it that it has become our meaning of life. And I got to thinking, how is that making it easier or harder for people to find things that they love, things that they would be willing to live and die for? And I think it's making it easier for us to find what we might love, but making it harder for us to actually go out and do it, because we've become so reliant on using a proxy for living, which is a very peculiar point. By the way, I'm speaking to my son right now. You don't exist. It's about 24 years later. Your name's Kingsley. And I think if I can't really tell you what your meaning of life is, but I know what mine is, and mine is generally trying to have a good moral compass. I believe in a God. I'm not sure if it's the same God as anyone in this room, but He's there, I like to think, listening. I have a passion. It's for writing, it's for music, it's for generally just having a good time. And your family, definitely one of the most important things in your life, I think. I mean, even if you hate them, because I definitely do not have the nicest relationship with some of my family, a lot of my family actually. But I mean, above all, they'll have a huge meaning to you in your life. They'll lead you in the right or wrong direction. They'll lead you in a direction. At least you're going somewhere. Don't sit around. But yeah, I'm getting the party boy, so I just wanted to say I'll catch you in a few years, son.
Okay. I'm not going to come up here and tell you guys, or you, my 12-year-old nephew, what the meaning of life is, because I'm 18. You're 12. I don't know, and you don't know. I have so much to live on my own. That's in the wrong order. Again, you're 12, and from what I've discovered in my 18 years of life about philosophy is stop trying. Stop trying to find it, because you can look all you want, but eventually the things that happen to you, the experiences that you're going to experience, are so much more meaningful than the ones where you try and figure out who you want to be as a person. Because you can try and be somebody that you're not. You can do all these things, but in the end, it's about how you react to some things. As Elaine stated to me yesterday, the shirt that I wear right now is made from a third world starving child in India, and there are a bunch of things that I can, she tried to tell me her philosophy, and it conflicted with me, because if I think about depressing things, then I'm just going to stop myself. So again, you have to find things for yourself. The second thing is finding inspiration. Find somebody that you can look up to. I have a Taekwondo instructor and a Kemp leader. Those two people, I have constantly asked myself, what would they do? In their position, what would they do? And it's something that I can base myself off of. So I would definitely recommend finding somebody that you can look up to, that inspires you. And it's kind of the same way that Lefty strived to be what America's image should be, how to be like an American hero, or all these different things. Not exactly so that he changed himself so much, but have a base. That's definitely going to help you through high school and middle school. And the third thing is do something that you love, because you're going to run into a lot of people that annoy you, and they're going to run into a lot of things that annoy you, and all these different things. If you find something, that one thing that you love, then you're good. Then you can go to that, you can go do that, and it makes everything feel better. It'll keep you not insane. And for me, that piece is music. I love music. If I run into somebody that annoys me, I can just go in my room, listen to a song, get inspired from that. And playing music is what brings me to life. And in conclusion, actually I kind of have two visuals. One, right there is my guitar. And that thing, as I said, I feel like I can do anything with it. It's just, it's my tool. And, Sarah Baker, she loved to do things, so there's that. My other piece is this, a Rubik's Cube. And it seems impossible at first, but if you try at it and you work at it, you can do it. And you can solve it, just like life, Find your experiences, find something that you like, find something that you love, find people that you inspire you, and then you're good.
So the meaning of life is very much controversial and debatable. But if anything, I'm sure we can all agree that the meaning of life varies between every person, and it's different for each and every one of us. Some person might believe their meaning of life is to become a parent, which might happen sooner or later, or someone might want to push themselves to their limits, which might happen later on in their life. And the meaning of life for every individual changes over time and throughout your age. When I was little, I used to want to become a scientist. Why? I like to fill up little tubes in water and just mix them together, and I thought that was fun. Hey, scientists do that. That might be fun. But as I grew up and got older, I learned that my talent is with numbers. And so now I've been decided to change my major from that of undecided to a business major. My goals in life have changed and modified over time. An example of someone who pushed themselves is Christopher McCandless, who found his life goal, which was going into the wild and seeing what he can do. Unfortunately, he happened to die, and not too. I totally lost my train of thought. Next bullet. A common misconception is that the meaning of life is universal and can be applied to everyone, and that there's just one meaning of life. I do not believe this is true, and that the meaning of life is different for each and every person, and that it's not one solid thing. My meaning of life might be different than Hannah's or Sam's meaning of life, for example. At this time and age, I do not have any specific passion other than finding my place in society and getting a career and being financially stable. Right now, my goal in life would be to find that passion and hopefully live and die for it. Many people find their meaning in life through religion, society, and other passions. Matthew Callahan talked about the gender self and how passion relies on society and self. Just kidding. Men and women, men and women, freedom. Okay, men found that their meaning in life resided through themselves, while women found that the meaning in their life resided through society. And based on the freedom, how women are more restricted to see their freedoms through society is more restricted than men seeing it through themselves and being able to judge what they want out of life. And it all comes down to the freedom to choose, to decide on what you want to do with your life. So in essence, the meaning of life to me is not why, but why we live. Thank you.
Everyone has their own opinion of what the meaning of life is. In my opinion, there's two: family and happiness. I'm going to start off by talking about family. I don't know what kind of childhood you guys had if you guys didn't see Lilo and Stitch. But in Lilo and Stitch, Stitch said Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. To me, family is that forever lasting bond that you will have with your family, which is a group of people. You can always go to them to look for happiness and comfort and anything. Like if you're ever having a bad day, you go to them and you end up being happy. Or at least that's in my case. I have a very good relationship with my parents. My friends say that it's kind of scary how good my relationship is with them. I tell them everything. I don't need to hide anything from them. They're just the most amazing people I've ever met. Second of all, happiness, which in my opinion is what you strive for in life. It's the one thing that, it's just the best feeling that you could have, being happy. There's no greater feeling. And some things that I related to this semester is the transgender lady who used to be a man. She was never truly happy in life until she became a woman. And now, looking back, she realizes that being a man just wasn't her thing. Being a girl makes her happy. Chris McCandless, also, he didn't find living in society with all of us normal people to be satisfying, to be happy. He went out and made his own way, went out into the wild, did his thing out there. Unfortunately, it didn't end up too well for him. I'm sure he didn't plan on that, but that's what happened. And then another thing that makes me quite sad is seeing the movie The Bridge. It made me realize that a lot of people lose their way in life. A lot of people, everyone wants to be happy, but some people get lost and end up being really sad or depressed and think that there's only one way out: to commit suicide. A lot of people jump off the bridge in the Bay Area, the Golden Gate Bridge, which is where I live, so I've definitely heard about it. My dad actually witnessed one time. And it's just sad to hear of kids our age committing suicide. It was in the news a while ago. A fifth grader actually hung herself for being bullied. And it's just sad that people lose their way like that and think that's the only way out. But yeah, so my meaning of life is being happy and having a family, and that's what I have to say.
Okay, so I think we can mostly agree that there's no universal purpose, there's no universal meaning of life. Everyone kind of has their own ideas on that. And I think these ideas come from how we're made up of, like what we put into ourselves, our own identity, how we were raised, our background, our culture, the people we surround ourselves with. And, this varies in all of our lives, so that's a big part of it.
what I think the meaning of life comes from is being happy and advancing, both yourself and for the world. And I think being happy has a lot of aspects too. There's family, who for the most part is always going to be there, friends who come and go, but you learn a lot of lessons from them, you learn a lot of new things. The hobbies, love, your goals, inspiration, and most importantly, yourself and your identity. Technology, I think, has a big part of us advancing forward. We always want to do better. We always want to be something better. And technology, I think, has helped that in a lot of ways by expanding what we're able to do and where we're able to go and that kind of stuff. But I think it also kind of hinders that because we don't always focus on ourselves and the human interactions we have in our everyday life. And Into the Wild, Chris McCandless definitely decides that he needs to go out and find out who he is, discover who he is. And I think that's what made him happy. And even though in the end, he died, but I think he was happy. So therefore, that was his purpose in life, to go out in the wilderness. And the lecture with Caitlin from The Real World, that just shows that identity is such a big part, being happy with yourself. She made a huge change, and in the end, it was worth it to her. She ended up a lot more happy. And from Elaine's lecture, We Are the World, everything that we put into it comes out in the end. And yeah, so my visual is the ladder going up to the sky. It kind of shows both because it's a happy, pretty picture, but it also shows climbing to the top and always advancing forward. But we don't always know where it's going to end up, because even if we advance in our lives, we don't know what's going to happen after that and what's going to happen with the rest.
All right, so I don't know why you come to me to ask about the meaning of life. I'm an 18-year-old. I don't really know what I'm doing quite yet. But the meaning of life is a question that has baffled philosophers through every age of time. No one's figured it out, and I don't think anyone's ever really going to figure it out. There is no one answer to this question, and so everyone has to find it on their own. You have to go out into the world and experience life to try and learn what your meaning of life is. My meaning of life, however, is for species to be advancing. So for humans, I would say it'd be to advance in both social and technological ways. Our social advancement is how we've gotten to this stage. It's the only way we've been able to advance through life. And with that, we've been aided along by technology. And now they're working as one to help advance us even faster. At some point, you may not even need books. Who knows? We'll find out. But the meaning of life can be found on your own by your passions, by looking at jobs that you enjoy or hobbies that you just can't get away from. And it can also be found by connections with your family and those with friends. They will help shape your own. They'll shape your own way of viewing this question. On top of that, all humans feel as though they have to have a need. They need to be working for something. They need to be satisfied for having a use. If you're not out there doing something, you're not going to feel that satisfaction. And don't forget that your views are going to change. As time goes on, you get new experiences, and this question is just going to be answered in different ways. At the beginning, you may think, I'm just kind of going through the motions. There really is no meaning to life. While as during the end, who knows? You might find something else. And my visual is a nice drawing of a sunrise, and it kind of shows that there's always a new day that has new adventures, and those new adventures will help shape your life.
Topic I was given is the pros and cons of intelligence tests. The pros of intelligence tests You get to see how smart you are. You get to see whether or not you are going to be some super genius who probably and or might be a CEO of company be super freaking rich. On the other hand, I personally hate tests like that because all they do is give you a basic idea. Because you, at one point, could be on the low end of an intelligence test, but be the smartest person there ever is. The test only judges something at that moment. The other thing too is that sometimes on intelligence tests only based on specific knowledge, that they don't allow room for creativity. Because sometimes there can be multiple answers to this one question, but that test won't test that because there's only one right answer. The other thing too is that if like you're really, really smart, sometimes, that you might be treated differently than somebody else, or you might be taken away from your family to work for some big company or the government to work for them, and that is kind of unfair to you and to your childhood and to all the things you could be doing with your life instead of just being smart. Peace.
Yeah.
That well-dressed feeling. I'm just getting fancy stuff, aren't I? All right. Oh, jeez. So that well-dressed feeling you get when you put on a brand new blazer and you're just feeling on top of the world, and just anyone that you see walking by, if they glance at you, you're like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But I don't really get that feeling that often. I don't dress up all that much. I don't try and look fancy. I'm not really fashionable. But a lot of people do enjoy having that well-dressed feeling. I have a couple of friends that only actually ever dress up in, like clothes that looks like you're going to a interview with, and they don't want to do anything casual. They hate casual. They just don't get that crisp feeling. I really don't know how to go off of that from there, so.
The size of different things in our world. Okay. In a lot of cases, size is big things often are a lot more important, and smaller things are not as important. But now with technology, things are getting a lot smaller. This little thing can do a lot of stuff, and I don't really know what else to say. The world's a big place. There's a lot going on there. That's all.
Weather moods? Like the weather? Oh. Well, okay. Okay. So this morning I woke up at 11 o'clock, looked outside my window, and it was actually sunny out. So I put on this t-shirt, which is not very warm, and now I look outside and it's fucking cloudy. Oh, sorry for swearing, my bad. But, depending on the weather, it's either you're going to wear like a sweatshirt or a shirt or shorts or jeans, or in girls' cases, rain boots or high heels or flip-flops or not. I don't know. The weather has a lot to do with the way you look, the way you dress. I don't know, just your overall appearance. Yeah, that's about it. I'm done.
What?
The humor of being serious.
Serious humor, we've met. Give us a second.
Do you want me to talk first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. I guess I get in trouble a lot when I'm talking to people because I am often really sarcastic when I know someone and I'm really close with them. And some people hear me or overhear me talking and they think I'm really serious and really like moody and mean and have no soul. And but then
There we go, humor being
but then
serious
there's the
right there.
humor, yeah.
Oftentimes that would happen to me over text, because sarcasm does not translate over text, and so I will be often heard as very serious and rude when I'm being hilarious and funny. Obviously.
Are we done?
The humor being... Well, what do you think? Are we done, Hannah?
Yeah.
The phrase, "that's what she said."
Give me a minute. Hold on.
Please only the joke. Only the joke.
I once went to a baseball game with my friend Jen, and then we went to this hot dog stand, and she was like, "Jesus, those are giant wieners." And then I had to just look at her, just like this, and then she said, and then she realized, okay, you meant that's what she said. I think that's what she said jokes are both funny and making an awkward thing funny. Because personally, I don't like the word awkward. You could be having a great time with your friends and somebody could just walk in and say, awkward. And then it's just, like, why? Like, and then you're like silent and stuff, then you don't know what to say. But usually bringing up sexual situations and like social situations is pretty awkward. But if somebody's talking about like, eating a hot dog and eating wiener, and they're like, oh yeah, this is a great wiener. And then you're like, ha ha ha, that's what she said. It makes it kind of funny. It makes it a more pleasurable situation. And things like that. And I'm going to go ahead and stop myself now. Bye.
What do we got? What do we got? Oh.
Oh, she's trying to find a good one.
Where do you get these lists? You just know people? Denny knows people.
Wait, I don't want to read something.
If I wasn't in college, I'd be blank.
Oh.
If I wasn't in college, I'd be blank.
A prostitute.
Yeah, I was gonna say this.
Just kidding. No, you were gonna say stripper. Oh my god.
It was a joke.
You're a god. She loves God, you know. Okay, if I hadn't gone to college, I was working at McDonald's for a while. That didn't work out. So, I don't think I could have not gone to college. If I hadn't, I think I'd be a pretty good bum. I feel like I could make do under a nice little overpass. Or I don't know if you guys have ever seen, they did this spoof where it was like MTV Cribs, but it was bums. It was, he's like, I got a nice little pool and it's by the river. Sarah knows what I'm talking about. But.
If I wasn't in college, I would not be allowed to go to college. I'd be kicked out of my house. And probably living with Brian under the under the freeway, whatever you just said.
With Kingsley. Give him a little.
Maybe try to get a job at McDonald's.
Cause she'd be the working woman. I'd be just kicking it with Kingsley at home. I could be a stay-home dad.
You'd be talking about the meaning of life.
Yeah, I'd be telling him the meaning of life in our little riverside jacuzzi, and that'd be where that's where we'd be.
So we'd be homeless.
We'd be so happy. Come on, that does not sound like a great life. Okay, I think we're good.
Being superstitious or superstition?
Okay. One thing I can definitely relate to that I always do is knock on wood. Always. Because I'll say something and then I'll knock on wood. Another thing is I will tell other people to do that because I've heard so many people, and this is after breaking my leg, so many people like, oh, I've never broken a bone. I'm all, that's what I said. Knock on wood. So.
Haunting melodies.
Excuse me?
Haunting melodies.
Haunting melodies. I guess I think of like the haunted house at Disneyland and the music and how it's kind of creepy. But I guess like when you're sleeping and then you hear, I guess haunted, like the scary movies where it's like dun dun dun. It's like kind of haunting, I guess. Or like the like from Friday the 13th, or like the the Halloween that's like dee 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 dee. Yeah, that's what I think. We're done.
The phrase, if you know what I mean.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like kind of a confirmation. The phrase, you know what I mean? Like it's when you like say something, like give like advice or like give a statement, and then like, and when your friends are kind of like, what? And you're kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, just to confirm it, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Yes.
Wearing leggings with pants.
I'm wearing leggings with.
Wearing leggings as pants.
Oh, okay. Well, let me think about it. Wearing leggings with pants. Okay. As pants. Okay. So, okay, this is kind of mean, but it's kind of, okay, I'll just say it. So when I was in 12th grade, there was this girl who always wore leggings instead of pants. And honestly, leggings rip easily. So she liked to wear leggings all the time. And one day, we just always noticed she had different color leggings. She had some highlighter green ones one time, hot pink, and then she had black. But her leggings had snagged on something one day, and it was on the back of her leggings. So it was just like she was wearing these striped underwear. And I'll just put it this way. Leggings are safe to a certain extent, so be cautious when you wear leggings as pants.
Having one's fortune told.
Having one's fortune told. Okay. I don't know about you, but I really enjoy like fortune cookies. Like, I don't know, they might not be true, but when I like look at the fortune, I'm like, oh, okay, that's gonna be true for me today. And just it could be really bad or really good. I know they always have like fortune tellers at the fair, but they're always really expensive, so I never go. So I kind of just, I don't know, your life's gonna be what you make it, so you can't really trust what others are gonna say. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting. Like for a while, I was interested in palm reading, so I kind of know a little bit about that, and it's interesting to see how it all plays out and if it's true or not. But you can get a lot from knowing your fortune and having it told.
Fashions and hair.
In hair? All right. Well, okay, fashions and hair. So over time, you can see fashions go on. Like no one now has an afro like in the 80s. Sometimes people like mohawks. It depends what you're into. Goes with your style, your interests, I guess. Cultures, styles just go on and evolve over time, and hair will always be changing.
I did not hear
I
that.
didn't hear you either.
Artificial enthusiasm.
Well, I'm enthusiastic right now for doing this speech, not really, so I guess that would be artificial. But sometimes you have to fake a smile in order to get through a day, or you have to fake being happy for someone even though you really are not. So I guess that's part of it.
Some people go to weddings, which they don't approve of, and they do that whole, oh my God, I'm so glad you're getting married. He's so great for you. That's an artificial enthusiasm. Also, some teachers, I know my personal perspective of being a TA, like, you write good job on their paper, but like you get it, you're like, yeah, I got a good job. Well, Joe Blow next to you got a good job too. Oh, we both did so great. I did so much better. Oh my God, I hate her. So it's like, the thing about it is it kind of like hides what you're feeling, but for the benefit of the situation. Good talk.
Okay, I got this. No, wait, no, hold on. Okay, yeah, I got this. Okay. My Thanksgiving in my life is honestly the second best day out, well, usually the second best day out of my entire year. And that includes my first is Christmas, the third is my birthday. Anyways, and the reason why, for me, because I see my family, a lot of them who I don't ever see except for that one time of the year, because they live farther away or just don't stay in contact. I love my family to death, and yeah. The best memory for me that I can remember is that when I met my great uncle. He used to be a singer. I think he sang that one song, Tequila. Any heard of it? Anyways, and I remember one day I kind of liked the song. My dad kind of encouraged me to like say, hey, go ahead ask and you can sign the CD for me. And when I did, he was like really, really happy. He was like the happiest I've ever seen him throughout the many, many, many years I've seen him. And he gave me some posters and stuff like that. And that happiness kind of reverberated throughout the entire Thanksgiving Day. Like everybody's kind of uplifting, and you know, it makes it better that we were all together as one happy family, and that's my happiest memory of Thanksgiving.
I don't have one memory or one favorite memory from Thanksgiving. It's just, I think every year I just look forward to seeing all my family. Because one good thing about divorced parents is that you could have 2 meals on Thanksgiving. So it's really fun to see everyone and eat tons. I actually don't eat like the entire day until 3 o'clock. Or 3 o'clock and then once again at 8 o'clock. So it's great. I have 2 different styles of Thanksgiving. Well, the food's different because on my first Thanksgiving, it's all my Mexican relatives, so we have more Mexican dishes. And the other one is more of a German, European style. And there's this one dish that I absolutely hate that my grandma makes, but she knows it, so it's okay. So it's this yam dish. Basically, it's just yams mixed up with like in a casserole, but she puts like 2 inches of marshmallows on top. And no one likes it, so we just eat the marshmallows, and then we just put like the yams on our plate, and we kind of hide the yams and just eat the marshmallows. So that's it. Have a good Thanksgiving break, everyone.
Okay. Like about 5 years ago, I remember I was just about to like bite into my tofurkey, and there was an earthquake, and I remember like my mom just freaking out, and my dogs were going crazy, and I like looked outside, and my pool was like all the water was coming out, and like a bunch of like it was actually a pretty big earthquake, and some like the food had spilled off the table, and I just remember my mom just being like, oh my gosh, like this food took so long, especially because she has to make vegetarian Thanksgiving food. And it was a big ordeal, but then like in the end, we all became really happy. And then we had pumpkin pie. I don't know. And I'm really excited for Thanksgiving because I love tofurkey. It's really good. You guys should try it. Yeah.
My recent Thanksgiving experience, last year I went to Irvine to spend Thanksgiving with my significant other's family, and it was definitely an experience I will never forget. I remember meeting a lot of relatives and feeling really bad when I got all their names wrong and mixed up. And then like his stepmom would give me crap because she was like, you can't remember a simple name. And I'm like, oh, you hate me. Like I made sure to like try every dish because like I didn't want to seem like that's, you know, like the odd one out that like doesn't eat the food from like grandma made or like whatever. So I definitely have a favorite dish though for Thanksgiving, like most of us probably do. I like the mashed potatoes. I can't get enough of them. Mommy calls me a piggy. Sorry. But that's my favorite dish, and she always makes sure to make a lot of it so I could have it for the leftovers because everyone always eats the leftovers. Thanks.
Okay, so Like every year we have Thanksgiving like the same at my grandparents' house, but my two like favorite parts of Thanksgiving are like waking up in the morning and like watching the parade on TV. Like all the floats are like always the same, but it's just like so fun. And then I seriously can't even like describe how much I love pumpkin pie. So like that is the best part of Thanksgiving, and I just can't wait for it.
I really like Thanksgiving because it's not like all the other holidays where you have to give presents or you feel obligated to get someone something, and you don't have to like worry about that. It's just people getting together and eating. But because of where I live in Yosemite, there's been a lot of times where we actually go camping for Thanksgiving, and we go out and like have this really weird Thanksgiving dinner in a campground in Yosemite. And I don't know. Do we do it? No. No. Gosh. No, but it's just really fun. Like, it's a weird way to have Thanksgiving that no one really probably thought of trying, but we do that often, so I'm looking forward to it.
So a lot of my Thanksgivings are spent mostly in the car for like driving 3 hours and then just getting there, eating, and then going home. But I actually I don't really have any strong memories, but this year I feel like will be like a better year because all of us kids have kind of gone out, and so we're all going to my parents' house this year, and like my brother's coming up, and I haven't seen him for like a year, and my other brother, I haven't seen him in a long time, so I'm really excited for that, and it'll be fun. As for like memories from like the past, I remember when I was little, my little cousin and I, we were pretending to be cheerleaders, so we got like leaves and we're like in the backyard, but I don't really have any other memories than that, but it's mostly about family, I guess.
So I actually have two favorite experiences from Thanksgiving. My first one is when I was in the 4th grade. We went to Florida to Disney World, Walt Disney World, for Thanksgiving. And that was my first time being on an airplane, so it was really scary. My dad said that I looked like I was about to cry. But it was my first time on a plane, my first time in Florida, my first time at Walt Disney World, and it's the happiest place on earth. So that was a very good experience. And my second one is in 8th grade. Me and my family went to Las Vegas for Thanksgiving, and we went to Circus, and that was fun. And what made it the best Thanksgiving for me was because it was the last Thanksgiving I spent with my grandma before she died. So those are my two favorite Thanksgiving experiences.
So I am super excited for Thanksgiving. I don't know about you guys, but this is the most excited I've ever been. I'm so ready for it because since we're in college, we're away from family, and it makes us realize how much more we miss our family and how much more we want to see our family. I usually have a different kind of not American traditional Thanksgiving. I'm obviously Asian, so I have kind of different foods, different traditions and stuff like that. Basically I don't really have a favorite Thanksgiving. They're all kind of the same, but I love every Thanksgiving I've had. Basically what happens is all my family, all my cousins, uncles, aunts come to my house, and we set it up, and it's really nice. There's candles everywhere, and before you know it, there's little kids screaming. I'm the only one in college right now, so there's all the little younger cousins, and they're all in elementary school or not even in school yet, so they're all young, running around playing video games, screaming. And then there's the older group, all the grandparents, and they're always at the table munching on peanuts or whatnot. I just love when they call everybody to come eat, and we have just a giant potluck of so much food. There's turkey, fried rice, mashed potatoes, noodles. It's just a mix of American and Chinese food, and I really enjoy it. I had the yams and marshmallows too. That's one of my favorite dishes. I actually like the yams, but I don't know. And then the thing is at the end of the night when everybody leaves, we just look around the house. Me and my immediate my parents and my sister. We just look at the house, and it's a complete mess. It looks like a tornado went through my whole house because it was just a chaotic night, but definitely memorable and definitely ready for this year's Thanksgiving.
Okay, so personally, Thanksgiving is like the worst holiday ever. I just don't like the food or anything. But my family has to be like perfect. And so this one time I was at my grandparents' house and somebody was like, oh, pass me like the wine bottle or something. And someone like knocked over the wine bottle, which knocked over a candle, had a like lace like overlay. And so the lace like tablecloth started burning and the wine dropped on the floor. And people were like all freaking out. And then I looked over, and my grandma, who's like this little frail woman, still like eating her like Thanksgiving dinner, and everybody's like freaking out and like trying to mop up the things, and like people's pants are like underwear shown, and it's just like really embarrassing. And then my grandma's just sitting there like eating her mashed potatoes, and I thought it was funny. So.
Okay, so Thanksgiving for me is the one time where I get to see my second cousins and my first cousins and the rest of my family. So that's actually like a really special time. I think my greatest memory would be, it was a really long time ago, but it was, I don't know, I was young. And all my cousins, or actually the girl cousins, we were all, and I think some of the guy cousins, we were, because my grandparents live in the foothills, and so obviously there's hills everywhere. And I remember we were on like the side of this hill playing with these like plastic ponies and like sticking them inside and digging out little caves for them and decorating them with little things. And yeah, that was a really good bonding time, but that's what I remember from Thanksgiving.
My favorite Thanksgiving, we go camping. We like to go camping down in San Diego. There's Ramona. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of Ramona, but we'll go camping in Ramona and we'll cruise up to Mount Laguna by Julian. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Julian. You guys probably don't really know a whole lot about that area, but it's really fun because I remember there was one Thanksgiving where we go up to Julian and we'd always go to this one restaurant. It's super crowded, super expensive. We'd get like an all right meal. I was never really a fan of it. And then one day this lady comes up to us and she goes, "Oh, you coming to the free Thanksgiving dinner at Town Hall?" And I'm like, Wait, what? It's free? So we go there and it's like the most amazing food I've ever had in my life. And it was just, it's fun too because it's snowing and there's bookstores and I love books. So, and it's just, that's my favorite Thanksgiving, realizing they give free food. Okay, now you can clap.
I really, really enjoy Thanksgiving. My sister just started cooking a lot. She watches the Food Network almost every day. And she made this just incredible stuffing last year, and my grandma came in, she made this really, really good, like, kind of jello-y stuff. It was so nice. And I was just thinking over all the memories I had and seeing all my different family members, my mom, my dad, my yaya, my papu, which is Greek for like grandmother, grandfather. And then I just remembered that in the past few months, every one of my grandfathers passed away. And actually, my cat just passed away like last weekend. But I just realized that, those memories really aren't forever. You sit around at a table with people and you see the people there and it's like, it's a tradition. And then I never even thought that one year there'd be people missing from that table that have always been there for me, that I've remembered since, I was a little child. And if I could just say, go to Thanksgiving, go to your break, see your family, and realize that they are mortal, they will pass, but enjoy the time you have with them.
I love Thanksgiving because it's kind of an excuse to go see your family and hang out with everyone. And so I'll go up to Fresno to my cousin's house, and I love it when I see my grandparents because they're really awesome. And they'll always sneak in money for the nieces and nephews and grandchildren. And so my grandparents will be like, "Here's a 10, here, hide it, don't let your mom see it." And I'm like, okay, and then I'll go to my mom, like, "Grandma just gave me $10. She's like, "Okay," so she'll take it and hide it in my grandma's purse because she doesn't like us taking money. And so during Thanksgiving dinner, we always say a prayer because we're all Catholic. And so we all hold hands and we say our little prayer. And my sister decided to be funny one time, so at the end of the prayer, she held on to everyone's hands a little longer and said, "Avatar, oi, oi, oi." And I thought that was hilarious, and my grandparents didn't think that was too funny. So that was one of my fondest memories of Thanksgiving. Thank you.
I don't really have too much of a favorite Thanksgiving. I don't know, they're all sort of the same. Just kind of, I mean, they're really fun. Like, I enjoy every Thanksgiving, going to see all my cousins, all my family, because some of my cousins live in like Chicago and Washington, and most of my family is in the Bay Area, so they all fly here, and we all get to have dinner and stuff together. But I have to say, like, my favorite part, other than seeing my relatives, is my mom's cooking. My mom makes like the best turkey with like the best gravy and the best mashed potatoes and the best stuffing. Like, I don't know, everything's just the best about it, and I don't know, that's by far what I look forward to every year.
Okay, so Thanksgiving has never really been like my favorite holiday just because I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat the turkey. My family doesn't really understand like being a vegetarian doesn't mean like turkey broth and like turkey this and turkey that. It's like nothing. So I usually eat just like biscuits and stuff. But I'm excited for it this year because I haven't seen my family in a while, and I'm going to really appreciate like a home-cooked meal. I'll try and get a little more food this time, but my brother's going to be in Italy still. It kind of sucks because it's his favorite holiday, so I'll miss him, but I'm excited for this one.
Oh, Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. It's an American holiday. Yes! All right, one I can celebrate because, ancestors all the way back to then, actually. I love all the food. It's great. I actually, we rotate 3 years. Once every 3 years, I'm with a different part of my family, either with those from my dad's side, from my mom's side, or kind of a mixture of both at my house. My favorite memory was last year with my dad's family. We were at my uncle's house in Las Vegas. His girlfriend, now wife, was doing her, what's it called? She became a nurse through the Air Force, so she was placed there before she would be put into service. And so we were there, and it was funny because that whole family we're all jokesters, and my other uncle just got a girlfriend, first Thanksgiving with us, and she was really nervous that we were religious and we're going to do a prayer, and she was nervous that she was going to have to do it. And so my uncle reassured her that that wasn't going to happen. So my other uncle, who was living there, when everyone sat down, he was like, all right, so we're going to do family tradition, and we're going to say grace. And everyone just kind of like went along with it, which was really, I was actually pretty surprised at how fast everyone just kind of clicked on it, because there were 15 of us there, and then he asked her to do grace, and she was just flustered. It was hysterical. She was bright red. She was kind of shaking. It was really funny. And then everyone started laughing, and so she was kind of she was sitting there, really confused. And then we told her and had food. Yeah.